Welcome back to the TV Watercooler podcast. Our celebration of Days of Our Lives' 60th anniversary continues, and today I'm joined by James Reynolds and Paul Telfer. You, Paul, James, how are you
Yes,
guys?
absolutely.
Good. Nice to see you.
Great to see you. Where are you in Canada?
Toronto.
Toronto, one of my favorite cities.
Oh, you guys should
Yeah,
definitely come
I got one
do
of my
a trip.
favorite belts from Henry's in Toronto.
Yeah, yeah.
Just followed, Bill Clinton had been in the store just before me, and they were big fans of Days when I walked in. And they said, "Oh, you and Bill Clinton in the same day." I said, "Oh, wow. Only I'd known."
That's a fond memory of Toronto. Paul,
Yeah.
have you had a chance to come up here?
Yeah, I spent a fair bit of time in Toronto. My wife did South Pacific there, I'm going to say
Okay.
like 11, 12 years ago. Although my abiding memory is snow, I will say, having like, because it was in the winter and having to drive like a
Yeah.
PT Cruiser in really thick snow. So, yeah. But
Oh, yeah.
cool town, really good food.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Great,
Oh,
great,
yes.
great food scene
Yes.
here. Okay. You guys got to come back. Hopefully, they send you guys up now that the show's been, renewed for a couple of more
Yeah, we'd
years.
love
Mhm.
that.
Anytime. We're
Yeah.
ready.
And also I don't believe Xander and Abe have found themselves in many scenes together. So what's it been
Yeah.
like just hanging out with the two of you?
Well,
It's
that's
been
good.
great
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I was just saying,
Happen to kind of like Paul a little bit.
well, because he's a goodie, and
Well,
I'm a,
yeah,
you
Yeah.
know, like
opposite ends of
we
the
only usually
law.
interact when you're arresting
Were
me.
you gonna plot to kill me one time?
Plotted to kill
Oh, well,
everyone
that's
at
true.
some point.
That's
You
true.
can't take that personally, Jim.
I guess I
I
I
mean,
should
his
cut that.
character shot Marlene Evans, right? So
Sure, but again, that was one that annoyed me. That one because like that was when I was like a recurring villain and I
Oh,
wasn't in
yes. Yes.
contract, and so I'd like come in, cause some trouble, leave, go off and do something else, and then come back for a few months. And that was one of the times where I came back, and they were like, "Oh, by the way, you shot Marlena," and like, who shot Marlena? Like Marlena's been shot. Like I was just and everybody was mad at me, and I was like. I was literally taping Once Upon a Time or whatever other TV show I was doing. So I didn't do anything, but they always if you turn your back for a second, they'll
Something.
frame you for some crime over
Exactly.
there.
yeah.
Exactly. Well, he's a
But
bad man.
a huge milestone for the 60th. And how does it feel not only to celebrate that milestone, but to be in New York, the show's being inducted to the Broadcasting and Cable Hall of Fame today?
Pretty astounding. I mean, it is, it's amazing. When I started the show, and I think a lot of people felt this way, I thought I'd be here for a year. And the longer I was here and talked to the people that were around, Matt Carey and Francis and all of those folks, I really began to appreciate the history of this show and how much an honor it is to be part of that history. Mac would tell me stories of long ago, not only old Hollywood, but old days of our lives. And all the history we made sense. It is the storylines that are iconic. And I just feel such a great deal of gratitude to be part of this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not to sound cliche, but yeah, it's an institution, and there
Hmm.
just aren't that many things that you can point to, like cultural institutions that last that long. And so to first have it as a job, like you
Yeah.
say, like
Yeah.
first it's just another gig in a
Yes.
career of gigs. And then you're like, well, I can't believe people do this for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30, 40 years. And then all
Yeah.
of a sudden I've been doing it for 10 years. It just sneaks up on you
Yeah.
because it's a wonderful place to work and to be a part of something that's ongoing, not just for the people that create it, obviously, but for the viewers, that they know that there's a new episode every weekday, that this thing that's been a part of their lives since, for many of them, since they were children. They've watched children grow into adults and, have children of their own on TV. Like to have this, generational connection to people and now be a part of it. It's,
It
gratitude. It's
is.
just an honor.
And there are two aspects to what Paul just said. One is the generational aspect of the show that people pass it on from one generation to another. And I like it to sports teams.
Right.
If you're a Raptors fan, if your family was a Raptors fan, you're going to be a Raptors fan. And also the fact that they follow us. Paul's been here for 10 years. I've been here for over 40 years. They grow through life with these characters as if we are part of the family. Some may believe we actually are part of the family, but
I'm sure you got stories about that. No, for sure. And then you guys are also pioneering Days, pioneered for streaming. and you guys have adapted to that big change.
Well, honestly, it feels like
Yeah,
has saved
it has.
like not
It
just saved
has.
the show, but allowed us to flourish again.
Yeah.
You know, for so long, certainly since I've been here, since I joined Days, it always felt like soap operas were on the decline. Like
It
daytime
was.
drama was on the decline. That it was kind of a yesterday's format, yesterday's genre, and the legacy shows that had managed to hold on were all just in like a managed decline.
Mhm.
And then since we've transitioned to Peacock, it's just started to feel like a rebirth, honestly. And instead of it just always being like, well, it's not what it used to be, it's like, oh no,
It
you're
is.
important to us, and you're like your audience. We can see them. We can literally see the
Mhm.
audience. Like they weren't here and now they're here. Thank you for bringing people to Peacock kind of thing. And just for us to be like embraced by the
Oh, yeah.
platform,
Yeah.
and certainly the first time I've felt it since I've been a part of the show, that we're a vital part of the full uh, feast that the NBC
Yes.
Universal Peacock all that are that they're offering to everyone. To feel like an important part of it is just
Yeah, I remember the go-go 80s, our rock star days. And we literally were rock stars in those days. Wherever you went, you really couldn't go anywhere. Thousands of people would line up. And then, of course, we experienced that late 1990s decline, and then shows were leaving the air. And it feels like there's a bit of a rebirth now. Beyond the Gates coming
yeah,
on
very
CBS as a
true.
brand new soap opera is a good indication. And I think the success of Days at Peacock, with a lot of competition in streaming, actually, has been another a key part of it. And we always must remember that most dramatic shows are soap operas.
Yeah.
People want to forget that. But you look at Game of Thrones, you look at
Oh, yeah.
so many shows that I enjoy, they're soap operas. And people should always remember that's
Yeah.
what you're doing is another soap. Maybe with a little more money, but but that's what you're doing.
Well, so I was going to say, Lindsay and I talk about that often. 'Cause sometimes on a soap opera, especially on Days, we have some pretty over the top storylines, some pretty crazy, almost like science fiction, fantasy stuff. And on paper, it can be a bit tricky at first to be like,
Mhm.
okay, how do I make this work? And then you'll turn on some Marvel movie
Yes,
or like
yes.
say Game of Thrones or whatever, and they're doing all the same
All the
silly
same
stuff,
things.
especially after they get past that first
Yeah.
season. And now they've got to like start coming up with ideas, or actors leave, or they've got to like recast for whatever
Yeah.
reason, or just little production things that start to influence story. And you're like, well, welcome to soap opera.
Well, it's soap opera.
That's what we do all the time.
Exactly. Yeah, we're constantly aware of that. I see one of my favorite shows called The Diplomat is coming back.
Yeah,
Soap opera.
yeah.
Yeah.
With swear
And
words.
Yes.
They're allowed to cuss.
They can swell. Yes, yes.
yeah, do you guys think that because I remember when Star Trek started to cuss after it went on Paramount
Yeah.
Plus, it was kind of like it was big for like the older generation. But I mean, could Abe finally cuss? Like,
I hope so. I hope so. There's a few words they would like to say out loud. Yeah, I think we're slowly getting there. I was talking to one of the actors who actually had a word that he said, I guess, a couple months
Well,
ago.
they have teased it. I think they kind of
Yeah,
like they
yeah.
went right to the edge and then they retreated because I got to call Eric, Brady.
Yeah.
Um, I can't say it on
Yeah,
here,
yeah,
but
man.
I got to like I think I got to say a two-part swear word.
Yeah.
The only when you say the two words together is it very rude. Like you can say this one or this one, but you can't say them
yeah,
both. But I said them both because I was scripted to say both. And then on the show on the edit, right, they just sliced it. So like I say the first part, and then it cuts to Eric's reaction.
So this was
As I
a
said,
syllable word. These were two
yeah,
separate
it was
words.
like
They could use separately.
it was something whole, and they cut the hole. They cut the hole, and I was like, oh, disappointed. But at the same time, I was like, it doesn't. I don't think we want necessarily to have like gritty realism and gritty dialogue in our
We're not
soap
a
opera.
Nora, right?
Yeah,
Right.
that's not what
Yes,
we're selling. And our audience needs their handheld a little bit with some of that stuff, I think. It should still be a daytime show that anybody can watch. And we'll have our innuendo and there'll be, all those kind of things, but that should just, go over the heads of any kids that might be
probably a
watching.
lot of beeps.
Yeah.
And I think, as our audience ages, you'll probably see a little bit more because the audience will always age
Right.
at some point. And I suspect you'll see a little bit more. I forgot, I've lost all the generational names,
Right.
but as whatever the last generation is, as they move into maturity, you'll see.
Although I will say, what is fun is because Xander's British, nominally British, they do try and write British swear words for me every now and then. And so some of them aren't rude here, but are
But they're
really rude back
there.
home and would never be allowed on television before like 10 o'clock at night. Like, it'd be like what they call the watershed back home.
Yeah.
And so I've got to say a few of those on days. And I know Emily O'Brien, who plays Gwen, also, we both get really excited when we get to sneak one of them in. So it's like, I can't believe I'm going to say that. Because for us, even though it's on streaming, you can watch it wherever you want, in my head, the show is still on at noon. Do you know what I mean? It's a daytime show and you should watch it around lunchtime. And so, yeah, the dialogue should be lunchtime appropriate.
Well, that's a good point. Good point.
Paul, how familiar were you with the British soaps? I know they're huge. Every time I go back to see, my mom's family there, like I just really get into EastEnders, and Coronation Street is huge in Canada. So how familiar were you?
My family were obsessed with them. My mum and sister loved EastEnders and mostly EastEnders, not so much Coronation Street, but they watched all of it. They loved Brookside and all the Aussie soaps. They loved, Home and Away and Neighbours. And so I was like held hostage to like, because it wasn't, this is the days before everybody had their own individual screen. So I would have to watch some of this stuff. And I would pretend to hate it, but I was obsessed with it, like everybody else was, in love with Kylie Minogue, in love with Anna Friel from oh my God, from Brookside. Just all the, but they're so different to American soaps. American soaps are all about aspirations and billionaires and glamour, and ours are all about like smoking cigarettes and like in dingy, working class pubs. Like it's just, But for me, what was funny about the transition from one to the other, because I never did a British soap, um, so many people in the UK assumed that Days of Our Lives was just a show within a show of Friends. Because it's such an important part of Friends.
Yes.
And because Days of Our Lives wasn't necessarily like, prime time blasted the way Friends was, they just assumed that, this is a very intricate in-joke or whatever. No, it's a real show. It's been going for all these years. And so to finally get on the show and have that association to it, because that was my first introduction to Days as well, but then also be working with John Aniston all the time, who's Jennifer Aniston's father, just having that weird like, wait, it is a real show and I have a real job and I'm really a part of it. Like it's pretty crazy.
Well, I can still ask a question. Did becoming, Victor's son on the show kind of legitimatize Xander for you?
Yeah, I mean, I wish we had been able to do it while John had still been with us. Obviously, it was very bittersweet, and it did feel like they'd set up enough little breadcrumbs over the years that it wasn't jarring to the audience. And I think there was a part of the audience that wanted it. Do you know what I mean? Like he should be Victor's son, so just make it that he is Victor's son kind of thing. And so that was nice. And then it gave me the opportunity to play a lot of like, really lovely scenes, dealing with the fallout of that. And, that's part of what's I'm nominated for this year at the Emmys. So that was all.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. But I was really kind of grateful for all of it because, even though Xander's been kicking about for like 10 years on the show now, he's just kind of a bit of a made up from scraps of other people. They just kind of squished him together, I think,
the gardener
ago because they were. I don't know if they wanted something for me to do or they just like had an idea of it, but it just felt like, wait, why is he on the show? He's somebody's random nephew and he has no other real attachments. And so they've done a really lovely job over the past, 6 years of me being on contract of like shifting me more and more towards the middle of the show. And I'm just really grateful for it. But also, like you say, like it doesn't just legitimize like Xander, I think it kind of legitimizes me a little bit as well for the part of the audience that needs there to be these strong family justifications for why this person is on camera instead of the person that I want to see on camera. Like, why isn't this the actor or this character or this person on right now? Because they're the daughter or the son or the whatever of this person. They should be on the show, which I totally understand and am sympathetic towards. So for them to like fix that for me, I'm just really grateful and relieved.
Well, let's not forget Paul's skill in crafting that character and how successful he's been. It's not easy to craft a character in daytime TV because of the length of the character.
Right.
And at some point, you feel, some of us have been lucky to get past that point, that, this character is wearing thin. The audience, for Paul to come in and establish a character that had several leaves that had to go into the scrapbook to make up one picture.
Sure.
And for him to be able to accomplish that, it's pretty extraordinary.
And Jim, for your character, there's a huge following with Abe and Lexi. I hope Renee Jones is doing well. But now working with Jackie here, how's that going?
Beautifully. It's such a joy to work with Jack A. We have a great time. We really have good chemistry. And I'm not sure either one of us thought we would in the beginning, but we really like each other, and it's been a pleasure. I always look forward to going to work. But there are times when you look forward to it more.
Yeah.
And that's what it is now. This is not a pairing I don't think anybody on the planet would have thought of a few years ago. But it works. It works, and works beautifully.
We love it. And before I let you go, Paul, the triangle with Sarah and now Gwen, we look forward to that. So I don't want to get in trouble, but thank you both so much for taking time to discuss.
Well, yeah, there's plenty coming.
Oh yeah.
All of that.
Yeah.
All right. Can't wait to watch. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
cheers, mate. Great chatting with you.